Tim,
No.
please expound.
I think I'd rather install a new copy of Windows on the first day it comes out.
All right. Chris, Tim, and I'm hoping people who are watching this are going to share. Give us your thoughts in the comments. Let us know. It's been out for about a month now. It's been officially available.
Give you my thoughts
apparently to those to everybody except for those that placed an early order for it. But that's another story we don't need to go into. What do you think of this FTX-1? It's been out there for a while. Chris, what are your thoughts, having seen what you have?
I haven't really looked at the specs or anything, but the traffic I'm reading on it is everyone's kind of like, no big deal. I think people were looking for like a modernized FT8-17, and instead they got this.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hearing. That's the scuttlebutt I've been hearing on it.
So what are your thoughts? When you take a look at it? Any interest in this radio at all?
Not for the money. It's like $1,800, right?
Okay.
It's not cheap. So
no, it's definitely not cheap.
Yeah. So I mean, well, first of all, I'm not a big fan of bringing like those complicated displays and touchscreens into the field. I'm just not, because I think you're asking for trouble.
Unless you got it in your big case.
There you go. All right, and you can park it inside your truck, right? So I don't know. I from what I'm hearing and the stuff I'm reading on it, I'm like, I think it's a miss on Yaesu's part.
Tim.
No.
Please expound.
I think I'd rather install a new copy of Windows on the first day it comes out than buy a radio. It just doesn't work. It's not going to be. Wasn't there some flap with the APRS or APRS module in there or something like that? They said it was going to come with one. It didn't come with one.
It didn't, right? Yeah. I've heard a lot of
or something like that.
Right. There's a lot of buzz out there that it's just not worth the money, and they missed
it. Give it a year. Give it 2 years. Let's see
if it's still around.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys are I gotta say I was unprepared for that kind of response from you. So let's dig into this a little bit more. So I'm going to tell you this from having seen it up close and personal.
It's pretty.
It's a beauty.
It's pretty.
Which is good and bad, right? Chris, to your point. I mean, it just looks gorgeous. It's really nice. And so now that it's so nice, do you really want to take it into the field?
Right.
You saw the Dirty Dozen, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, do you remember when Donald Sutherland's out there inspecting the troops? He says, "It's very pretty, General, but can they fight?" And it was a big joke. That's what I think of when I see this. It's beautiful, but, I'm going to be afraid to take it outside.
Yeah. Okay. Mike, I'm with you. Absolutely. Mike says, "I'm not going to say anything negative about a manufacturer giving us a new all-band, all-mode transceiver. It's good to have options and competition." There's a lot to be said for that, Mike. Absolutely. Okay. So
nice. Look at that. I mean, come on.
What's up with that? What is up with
that? It is the knobs feel good. The display is clearly legible. One of the things I was puzzling about, because of course we're familiar with the 705. The 705 has that front-facing speaker. It's not a big one, but it's adequate. I'm looking at the front panel of this Yaesu, and I'm thinking, where is the speaker? Well, the speakers are underneath. There's a slot underneath here, and the speakers, I guess, fire downward into this and come out. Now, I couldn't hear anything at Dayton. I couldn't listen to it. I don't even think it was hooked up to an antenna. But from all reports that I've heard, the audio is actually really good. And of course, strong audio from a portable transceiver is a Yaesu strength. They've been doing it for years. Even the 710 has got tremendous audio in the field. Here is a look at it with the amplifier in the back. And I took a few shots just going around. You can see the ribbon cable here that attaches the head unit to the amplifier. and a look at the back panel of the head unit. And of course, back here, notice the angling up on the head unit as once it's attached to the body. So that's something to be aware of, because it's got that little bit of an odd form factor. But I'm going to say this: I do like the all-in-one, the snap-together design. I'm accustomed to the 897, accustomed to the 991A. I'm glad they didn't make it a discrete head unit. I'm glad that they actually do snap together. Another look at the back of the head unit and here. So here's what I think about the FTX-1. This is Yaesu's replacement. This is Yaesu's replacement for the 817, 818, and the 897. This is it. Whether we like it or not, this is what they're doing. I think it's pretty damn good. I like it a lot. I like it so much that coming back home from Dayton, I was convinced that I was going to sell my 710 and buy the Optima version. I'm not thinking that anymore. It's not because I don't like the radio. I think the radio is very cool. And I go along with Mike, by the way. We have a lot of thanks to give to ICOM and Yaesu for bringing out these cutting edge field radios, even if they don't really meet that field criteria that we've seen from radios in the past. But with all this state-of-the-art capability built into a form factor that I, having taken an 897 into the field many times, having taken the 991A into the field, I don't mind this form factor one bit. It doesn't bother me. I kind of like the idea that the head is removable and I can take it out to do some QRP. But the question that came down to me was, I've got a 705 and I've got a 710. They do not give me 100 watts on 2 meters and 70 centimeters. True. But I've pretty much got most of what I am asking for from a radio system right now. It's for that reason that at this point in time, I'm not considering the purchase of either, even though after having seen it hands-on, I was really interested in buying one. Okay, I want to take a look at some of the comments that we're getting here. Here's Shane. A good modern field radio would have the form factor and classic rugged display, like an 817 or 857. Then have a free app for your phone or tablet that would have a waterfall display. Well, that's an intriguing idea.
Mm-hmm. He's exactly right.
Hey, Mike, N2MAK is saying he's waiting on an 857 replacement. This clearly does not replace the 857, right? That 100 watt in a mobile form factor. You can call this FTX-1 Optima anything you want, but don't call it a mobile form factor. It certainly isn't. So speaking of the gentleman from down Georgia way, he says, look at Sherwood's tests on this radio way down the list. I didn't know that he'd done it already, so that's interesting to know. But just one last note on the FTX-1, and I think this goes along with the point that Philip was making. I was talking to a local ham here. He's a big VHF UHF guy. And we were talking about the FTX-1 Optima. And he says, yeah, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not a bit interested. I said, really? Why? He says it's only single conversion on 2 meters and 70 centimeters. And so I went back and I took a look at some other radios like the 991A, like the 9700. Well, they're all dual conversion.
Right.
So it's his belief that a single conversion radio on those bands will not be as sensitive.